We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Check it out now.
The Book Podcast, welcome for those watching on Twitter, for those who are listening. It's the 90th Masters from Augusta, a tradition unlike any other. Gill Alexander with what has become a podcast tradition here. He said last year that as long as he was around, he would do this Masters preview to their Long Shots podcast, and he has kept true to his promise. Matt Brown joins us, host of Ready, Set, Bet on VSiN, and also one of the three hosts of the Long Shots golf podcast. How you doing, Matt? With a Masters hat? Nice.
I'm doing well. This is, I want everyone to know, this is 100% authentic Masters hat that was purchased on the grounds at Augusta, Georgia 2 years ago. I don't know if anyone knows or not. I did actually go to the Masters a couple of years ago. I think I've said it a time or 11 on various podcasts.
Let me ask you a question. Would you ever go again now that you got it off your bucket list? You would not.
Wow. Quick answer.
No, I would not.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the main reason for you would not is what?
They strip you of your technology so you can't follow along to what's happening on the tournament. The grounds are so expansive. There's not like scoreboards on every hole. So it's like you could be posted up on a hole and you don't have any idea what's going on like out there whatsoever. And then listen, I'm a man that likes to have a good time, and they only serve beer and wine, and that's just you trying to put in like 14 hours and you can only drink beer and wine. I can't do that anymore, Gil. I'm no longer 20 years old. And so doesn't work for me.
Wow. Well, hold on. Let me then ask it this way. If you knew that in advance, would you have even gone the first time?
Yes, it would to tick it off for sure. And I would go back if I had a very important friend and could get into the very special areas that are there where they do have technology and they do have a full bar and they do have food other than the incredibly overrated pimento cheese sandwiches and all the things and all of the stuff like that everyone talks about. Now, those guys, if I could hang with them, yeah, I'm in. I'm back every year. I would do that, but not just to go as a normie.
All right. This just in. Matt Brown looking for cooler friends, better friends.
Yes.
And that's the podcast, boys and girls. Matt Brown has been
have a good one. Talk to y'all next year.
Just a plea for better friends.
He one-upped you, the man who's talking right now, and not just a Masters hat like Matt has on. He's got his whole Masters shirt on. Is that the Bill Krackomberger given Masters t-shirt that Crack gave you?
I can tell you that this was bought on the grounds of the Masters in person, just not by me. I can't even remember. You led me right into it. It's either from Matt or Bill Krackomberger. I can tell you that much. I got Masters gear from both Matt Brown and Bill Krackomberger. I will mention both all this week. I don't know which one came from who. But you know what?
Yeah, I don't know.
They are different sizes, so that might be able to tell us something.
If I see the other one, I'll know whether I gave it to you or not. I just don't remember whether. I don't know.
This one's bigger, so this would track more with you 2 years ago.
That, by the way, is Kelley Bydlon, everybody, from a numbers game on VSiN. You may know him from that little program, or from Long Shots, the golf podcast. You should be swimming in that shirt, right? Because Kelley has lost.
Oh, it's real big.
Over 100 pounds.
It's real big.
Yeah,
you can't even swim in it. Yeah,
two Kellys in that thing.
That's right.
It's made for two Kellys.
All right. For those who don't know, these two gentlemen are serious golf bettors. They're not just song and dance men or joke tellers. They handicap golf pretty seriously. Not pretty, very seriously. Before we even get into the nuts and bolts here, I think we did this last year. Can you give a sense, Matt, we'll start with you, of how you approach handicapping golf for those who are new to the game of handicapping golf?
If you have listened to Long Shots before, sorry, because I'm going to give the same spiel, but a very numbers-based approach to golf handicapping. I go in, take the statistics that are out there that are available, and kind of piggyback that off of the hard work of other people. And, shout out again to people you've had on your show, Rick Gaiman, and all these people that have built these models, guys from BetSperts over there, Data Golf. They have built the skeletons of these models. And I'm not a coder. I didn't make the model. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. But what I do know how to do is take the information and turn that information into bets. And so that's kind of where I've been at this for, basically as long as these models have existed. So 7 or 8 years now that they've really been, what I consider to be good, and take that information, plug in what I feel is important, put it in, and then weight it accordingly. And then, so each model, while they are built by people and whatever, each model is unique to me or to Kelley or to whoever else is using them, because they might not use the same stats that I use. They might not weight the stats the same way that I do. They might not do it over X amount of rounds that I do, and all of the different things that factor in to all of that, which is why I think it is unique when I get to sit and talk to other people who do that, because we're using the same tools, getting different results, which is pretty cool to kind of interpret the data and the information. And where guys show up in the model, Gill, if there's a discrepancy between, hey, this guy's like continuously showing up in the top 10 of the model, yet he's 50-1 or something, or yet he's 60-1. Like, there's something to dig into here, and then dig into it further and see if it's worthy of a bet.
Kelley, sounds familiar to you?
Yeah, very familiar. This is, Gill, you've gotten to watch it almost every step of the way. Really, Matt and I kind of attacking this a similar way for, 7, 8 years it's been now. Kind of doing it this way. I, have been betting golf longer than that. I know Matt has as well, but very, very, big change in the way that I was handicapping and going about it. Once we started to have these sites come along and be able to develop kind of our own ratings and numbers with these guys to go into each tournament. So yeah, I've really been handicapping. I would say Matt and I pretty similarly every week, but you, like he said, you are punching in different information. We're weighing one thing heavily more so than the other. So you get different results. But yeah, very similar process. I think well broken down by Matt Brown.
Have you two ever handicapped the same tournament? I assume using some of the same modeling tools, and come to just completely disparate results. Like Matt is on somebody hugely, you're on somebody hugely, and neither of you see it that way with those two golfers. Does that ever happen?
Yeah. I mean, just this past week, I was fading two guys that Wes was on this past week. And just kind of going in and interpreting the information differently. And with that, and I mean, I might, and Kelley, I think you can maybe attest to this, whatever. Gill, I'm trying here to zig where other people are zagging a little bit more, and trying to kind of get the evolution of the game before people catch up to it a little bit, to where a course is historically, we don't need to worry about distance there, or we don't need to worry about accuracy there, or whatever, blah, blah. Well, man, last 3 years, it's like all these young dudes have flooded into the tour. All these guys are bombing the ball. Like, all of them are hitting it so far. Like, they're pretty accurate with hitting it far. And so even though something says historically, maybe that doesn't matter, I'll put in driving distance where most people won't. I'll put in maybe some accuracy stuff where most people won't, or whatever, and things like that. So kind of trying to stay ahead of the groupthink maybe a little bit would be the best way to put it, and trying to see if I can get ahead of the evolution of the game here and maybe lead me to some bets with some of these other guys.
Makes sense. Matt, by the way, at Matt Brown M2 on Twitter, because there's a million Matt Browns. Kelley's at Kelley Bydlon, Kelley with an EY, Bydlon, Bydlon. All right, so so just to set the ground rules here for folks, these guys are going to do their Long Shots podcast. It's called Long Shots, name of the podcast, Long Shots, which they do with Wes Reynolds. That will come out tomorrow, Kelley, at 3 p.m. Eastern-ish, or that's when you're recording it?
That's when we're recording. So yeah, give us a couple hours. Yeah.
Okay, give us a couple hours. Are you doing like multimedia shit like you were doing last year, or what's the story with that?
What did we do last year with multimedia shit? We will be doing multimedia, because we will be doing audio, video, everything, Gill.
That's
just
right.
Trying to be like the Beating the Book podcast. We're not that cool though, because we're streaming live on Twitter right now. Hi, Twitter. We're not going to be there.
Easy. Let's not get crazy. All right. So these guys are going to have most of their bets on that podcast, but I want to get what they have so far. But as a jumping off point, I think we always do this. So you'll bear with me. This is Dave Tyndall, our buddy Dave Tyndall, who writes for lots of sites, including Betfair. He's our British friend, our English friend, I should say, who does his Masters trend piece every year. Now, this is similar to the old college basketball formula for those who watch a numbers game. It, by and large, attempts to narrow down through the use of categories someone who he would bet on to win the Masters. And last year, Rory McIlroy won the Masters. He ended up isolating Rory McIlroy and Russell Henley. The two of them were tied for the biggest points total in his formula. This year, just as a jumping off point, again, his 10 trends are age, good for the 20-somethings, world ranking, the higher the better, appearances, Augusta experience is valuable, 4, best Masters finish, top 5 desirable, 5, the game for Augusta, meaning evidence of all-round prowess, talking driving distance, accuracy, greens and reg, scrambling, putting average, ball striking. Masters trend number 6, defending champion, back-to-back wins, extremely rare. This is where Kelley likes to chime in and say, hey, wait a minute now. You just said Masters experience is good. Now you can't do it back-to-back, though. That's bad. Because only
right. Rory stands no chance.
Sorry, only Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, and Tiger Woods have gone back-to-back, so that one doesn't bode well for Rory. 7, recent form, strong current play good. Masters trend 8, winning form, confidence counts. Masters trend 9, recent major form, setting up a base, whatever that means, setting up a base camp, I don't know what that means. Masters trend number 10, last year's finish, hunger, a motivator. So if you go through all of these, it's basically 8 of the last 10 have come from this category, 7 of the last 10 from this, 9 of the last 10 from this, 8 of the last 12 from that, so on and so forth. And anyway, by his point system, here they are in countdown form with 65 points, checking in as a tie for 10th, I believe this is. No, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th. Xander Schauffele, Hideki Matsuyama, and Patrick Cantlay. Tied for 8th, Scotty Scheffler, who is the short shot to win this, trying to win his 3rd Masters in 5 years. Tied for 6th, Bryson DeChambeau and Russell Henley. Henley, who was the co-favorite by this formula with Rory last year. Tied for 4th, Tommy Fleetwood and Matt Fitzpatrick. 3rd place, Morikawa. 2nd place, Cameron Young. And 1st place, any guesses?
First place,
John Rahm.
John Rahm. Let's start there. John Rahm is only Scotty Scheffler is shorter than John Rahm. What do you guys going to have John Rahm exposure? What do you think of that?
I would like John Rahm to be longer. I mean, I was hoping that people would be so incredibly excited to bet Bryson that maybe it would push Rahm's odds a little bit. And, look, maybe it will by the time, and we still have 48 hours for people to get into this market or something. I was hoping to get Rahm kind of in the 14, 15 range. He would have made the card for me then for sure. I think the best out there right now is 11 is what I'm looking at kind of here on the odds screen. And it's just a little bit too short for me, but he's definitely playing some very, very good golf. And maybe there will be a price out there for me, or maybe there's a matchup. Maybe there's something like that I can get exposure to him. DFS, whatever it might be. When me and Kelley drive to the border, maybe he'll be our tiers play or something like that in the splash contest that we've got going on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kelley.
Completely agree with Matt. I think he will be one of, if not the most popular bets this week. And I think there's good reason to completely understand the form he's in. Has been incredible and live. It's a worst is a 5th place finish. You're going to hear that a lot. He has 1 win, and it's all 2nd place finishes besides that this spring. And from those that cover, we don't get the most trusty data out of live. Those from that cover him, I've read a lot of John Rahm is hitting his irons better than he ever has on live right now. And really, this is kind of the approach play that we saw at his heights on the PGA Tour is what he's looking like over on live right now. So I think he's going to be very popular this week. Completely understand if you are in one and dones. Obviously, that this is a very rare opportunity to use a live golfer and a guy that you're going to have limited choices, just the majors to choose from with these guys. So I think he will probably be the most selected there. Like Matt, though, I like him significantly more than DeChambeau this week. So if I see, I would think there's going to be some Rom DeChambeau matchups out there this week. I think there's definitely a good chance I'll end up with some Rom bets, but will probably not be in the outright market. I don't hate, though. I think anybody who wants to go bet him in double digits, 10-1, 11-1, I don't hate that because I think by the time we close, he's probably 8-1-ish most places.
For clarification's sake, Scotty Scheffler is the short shot at DraftKings. Let's just use DraftKings. Plus 485. Rom is next at plus 910. As Matt said, best we're seeing on him right now is around 11-1. Then it's Bryson plus 1075. Rory trying to go back to back. Speaking of back stuff with him, plus 1150. Oberg plus 1650. And then Xander 18-1. Everybody else is beyond that. So, Matt, let's just start. I'll cherry pick some names later, but what have you bet so far?
So I only have 3 outrights in the account right now. And first one is the guy you just talked about in Ludwig. It's a guy for me that it's the lowest on the board for me. Just a reminder from last year. I was super boring. I one-bulleted Rory last year. It was I said if it was ever going to happen for him, it had to happen last year for him. The way that he was playing, the way he was going in and all of that. I one-bulleted Rory last year, and so it was a pretty boring deal for me. But do have 3 in the account right now that I feel pretty good about. I think, like I said, the evolution of some of these players is where I'm going with this. And this is not to say that Scotty can't go out there and run away with this thing, even though his play has been a little less than what we've known of him. Certainly he can. He's still the best player in the world. But start with Ludwig. He does everything we're looking for here. He is long. He is pretty accurate. He is, when his irons are ironing, he is very, very good there. Short game is suffice. Now the putter, he's one of those guys that we say, putter comes and goes. He's not, there's the handful of guys that are good putters, the handful of guys that are bad putters, and everyone else is somewhere in between. He falls in that, but good enough putter on a regular basis to get this done. And so I'm not worried at all about what happened on yesterday. It was in San Antonio. It was raining. It was cold. It was disgusting. He's probably in the back of his mind, like, I got to get out of here. I got to get over to Augusta. He played 2.5 great rounds. And then Sunday happened, and where he didn't play bad, he just didn't play great. I'm not really too worried about that. I'll take the first round and a half and put him into the account. I really, really, really like Ludwig this week as somebody that I truly believe has the game to go out and take down, all the guys that are shorter than him.
Let's go back and forth. Kelley, we'll get one of yours that you've made so far.
Let's see. You want one? How about one that are still at current-ish numbers? Cameron Young, 28-1. I bet last night. I think anything that you're seeing 25 or better on Cameron Young, it would be a play. Love over the last 24 rounds. He's top 10 off the tee and on approach in this group, in this field. This third and tee to green. He's got solid scrambling and putting stats. 10th on bogey avoidance, long off the tee. He won the Players already. T3 at the API. He's got a few top 10 finishes this year. I think the recent form is there with Cameron Young. I was maybe a little late to betting him this year, but I think what we saw at his height at the end of last year has rolled over to this season. He's got four career trips to the Masters, 2 missed cuts, but then 2 top 10s. So definitely a guy that's kind of been learning along the way here. Cameron Young, do like him. Played him in the outright market. We'll be playing him in placements as well.
Okay. Matt, what was your price on Oberg? What was your price on him?
It's 15-1.
15-1.
There's better numbers out there than that. I just don't live in a DraftKings market or whatever. So we sometimes we got to take what we can get around here.
We understand.
Yes,
all right, give us another one you bet.
I played Minwoo Lee. He is another dude that, again, I think the perception of Minwoo Lee, and we talked a little bit about this on Long Shots, where it was true that he was kind of just a bomber there for a while, but Minwoo Lee's game has really evolved, and he is one of the dudes that at the number you're getting out there on him, I happen to get 39. I think he took a little bit of money since then. I think you can probably find 35, 36, something like that out there. in the market still, but he's a guy who has evolved into a complete player. His iron play now will be up and down, but like that's fine. You're taking a guy that's over 30-1, right? I mean, like if he has a great week with his irons, he's going to be at the top of the leaderboard for sure. He has putted much, much better of late, and honestly, he's one of those little under the radar wizards around the green as well, and really can get it done where I think that's going to come into play here. Obviously, you're going to miss some of these greens. You're going to have to get up and down. Just safe par, move on. Don't cost yourself strokes. Don't double these holes and stuff like that. And so Minwoo Lee kind of fits the profile of everything that I want in a golfer here. And he's playing some really good golf as well. So not only am I catching a dude who profiles well, but he's also kind of on a heater as well.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Is there I think I've asked you guys this before, is there an optimal number for those who are like new to golf betting? Is there an optimal number of outrights? The Masters, of course, roughly around 90 golfers tee off. There's a lot of throwouts. We've talked about this before. The olds, as you called them, Matt, I think, in the past. The guys who have won Masters in the past, like the Sandy Lyles and the Jose Maria Olazabals of the world, who have no real shot. You could throw them out. Debutante hasn't won since 1979. Maybe you throw them out. We'll get to that momentarily. But there's, it's a limited field. Is there a proper number of outrights here? Or can you not say that?
I don't know, Kelley, where do you think you'll end up landing?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great question, Gill, because it's not really something we typically talk about. Look, I think that mascot makes sense at the end of the day. You can bet 10 outrights if you want, right? But how much money are you going to be making off that if you do that? It's just all out how you completely manage your card. I think you could go several different ways. This is almost always the tournament that I have the most amount of outrights on. And that's simply because the futures book is up for months and we get a look at some guys as we start the season, and I can add guys here and there. And honestly, I have 5 outrights that I've bet already and probably will add a 6th. That will be the most that you're going to see on a card for me all season long. Before, 4 of these I bet well before this week was even open. So yeah, I think that's to each their own. We definitely know some bettors that will go. Matt just said it. He went with 1 last year. You might see 1 or 2 if you're going for shorter odds guys. You're going to see some cards this week that have 8, 9, 10 outright bets on them.
Last year,
I'll probably land, Gill. I'll probably land this year because I've got 3 already. Again, 2 of which Minwoo in my last one that have been kind of in the account for a little bit, and so I'll probably land on 2 more. My guess would be 4 or 5 for me. And honestly, I think you just can't go too far down the board here. I mean, people want to get cute and they want to whatever. It's just like the win equity on these guys. Like if you really love a dude, ask yourself in your heart of hearts, like, do you honestly think he can win, or is he better as a top 20 bet? And then like a tiny little sprinkle on an outright if you happen to catch like lightning in a bottle or something like that. I think that is how you really have to go into this. And you're like, man, I really love, for lack of a better, I really love Ben Griffin or so, whatever. It's like Ben Griffin's win equity here is so small. But I mean, a top 30, top 20, top whatever, it could be likely or something. Like maybe that's just a better route and better use of your money,
Yeah, and Gill, I'll jump in because I can use one that I bet already as an example. Chris Goddard, he was one that I added a month ago. He's a he's a debutant here, right? It's an outright I played a month ago when the futures book was up. I'll probably get a little bit better number than what we're going to close at. I think Goddard's game is a great fit for the Masters, but I don't know how much win equity he really has here with the first time around. Getting to know these greens and around the greens is a tall task, and he is not the worst at that by any means. His weapon is off the tee. That's going to work fine here. I almost guarantee you that. He's going to drive the ball great here, put himself in a great position. But just getting to know these holes on approach and then around the green, they are so tough. And because the fairways are wide open and you can kind of bomb it, like Matt said, I think you're going to hear a lot of cases this week for guys that are further down the board, but man, they've got to have the whole game. They got to bring the really complete game this week. And often we'll talk about some of these guys on long shots like, hey, all we need is a spike putting week. Not at the Masters. You got to do it all. It's got to be solid off the tee. It's got to be solid on approach. You got to be good around the green, and then you got to get that putting week home too.
Masters famously the course the most predictive from year to year, the course at Augusta. It's a par 5 course, meaning you got to do your scoring on the par 5s. That's where most champions do their damage. It is a par 72 of 7,565 yards, the famous Tiger proofing from back in the day. By the way, just in terms of Masters history, and I want to get the exact order, but I don't have it called up. But last year, of course, last year was Rory's win, finally wins the career slam. Before that, it was Scheffler. The year before that, let's see. I want to get these exact years right because they run into each other for me now. Before Scheffler, it was John Rahm, his one win in 2023. Scheffler before that, his first of the two. Hideki Matsuyama before that in 2021. And then the one before that was the weird one after the pandemic, Dustin Johnson in the fall in 2020. Before that, it was Tiger's 5th and 15th overall slam. And then before that, Patrick Reed. And the reason I go back to Reed is because I'll be picking off names later. And obviously Patrick Reed and Hideki Matsuyama will be two of them. But real quick, before we get to that, one more from you, Matt, one more from you, Kelley, if you still have any numbers that are around, Matt.
Yeah. So this is definitely a number that has come down. I think people were kind of waiting to see what was going to go on with the injury situation. I have 80-1 on Jake Knapp. I texted Kelley and asked him if he wanted to get a piece of the 80-1 that was out there when it was available. I don't think he went in and dipped his toe in. I think it's middle 60s now out there for the majority of the markets on Jake Knapp, but a little bit of an injury concern. Then that went away. He came back, played perfectly fine. You didn't notice anything from a driving distance standpoint or any of that or whatever. And it's kind of the same profile we're talking about from a Minwoo and a Ludwig, right? It's a dude that drives it a long way. He actually is one of the handful of really good putters. Like he putts very well. And so he brings driver putter to literally every tournament that he comes to. And it's kind of the stuff in the middle that sometimes gets in the way. But again, at a bigger number, I think the win equity for a guy like Jake Knapp is much, much higher than the number that is attached to his name right now. And again, we talk about needing tons of experience here and all of those different things. But like I said, I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of the fold here. I think that some of these guys' games are just so good and really line up so great for this course that, you know, I wouldn't normally bet an 80-1 at the Masters, but I think Jake Knapp, I mean, and Kelley, I don't know, you can agree or disagree with me here, but I mean, I think Jake Knapp's win equity, especially when you start to look at some of the dudes that are shorter than him on the odds board, I think it's much, much higher than some dudes that are at worse numbers than him.
Yeah, I would rather play him than plenty of names ahead of him. I did not get in when you did, but yes, I do not hate it as a long shot. I think it's probably absolutely in consideration for me for a placement bet. I think a top 20 sounds pretty good on Jake Knapp. And just to go back to one you had mentioned earlier, I think if I didn't have 4 outrights that I had bet already heading into this, I think Minwoo probably would be an outright play for me this week. Not going to make the outright card. Definitely will be a top 10, top 20 play for me, something like that. Once those
Kelley, just for giggles, what were the other 4 that you made prior to this week?
So Goddard, I mentioned already, Russell Henley, Maverick McNeely, and then a couple weeks ago, and we talked about on the show, Matt Fitzpatrick, and I'll go back to him. I would actually still bet him. I think his number has gotten really low. I'm going to guess Matt thinks it's probably too short at this point, sub 25-1 most places. I think if you're getting him around 25-1, him and Cameron Young, regardless of how short those numbers are getting, would be very tough for me to pass up this week. I think in that second tier kind of level of golfers down, I think there's some questions still about maybe that top tier of guys of Scheffler, Rory, what we're going to get from Rahm and DeChambeau coming over from Liv. I think there's some fair slight questions there, although there's a lot of power at the top. I think those guys are kind of the class of that next group down. And Fitz, I've been betting him heavily this year. Honestly, the ball striking has just been great. What he's doing off the tee and on approach, really impressive around the green. He's the top 15 player coming into this. And honestly, the one area he's kind of been struggling a little bit with this year is the putter. And he is normally a very, very strong putter. He's got 5. He's played this event a lot at this point. I think we don't think of Matt Fitzpatrick as being an older guy, but having the Euro roots, you kind of get in early access here. He's at 5 times where he's gone out here and finished 22nd or better. So I think whether you're looking at him in outrights or matchups, top 20s, I love Fitzpatrick this week. I will be using a lot of him and Cameron Young.
Are you all still having trouble with the live side of things? Like, in other words, the data just being murkier?
Yeah.
Still?
Not as bad, Gill, but yeah, we're not getting the same strokes gain data that we are getting from the PGA Tour.
All right, let me throw out some names, and you guys can chime in as you will. I mentioned 2 of them earlier. Patrick Reed, who won this tournament back in 2018. Is he form proof at this point? In other words, no matter how he's playing, he just shows up at this tournament. I'm not saying to win it outright, but I'm just saying, Would you bet him in placement markets?
I'm going to jump in front here, Matt, because it's one that he's going to be brought up a lot this week, Gil. I think it's completely fair. I think for anybody who only checks in on golf every once in a while, maybe it's mainly the majors and a couple other tournaments, I get it. And I cannot talk you off betting Patrick Reed this week. I get where the attraction is. He's played even on the DP World Tour early this season. I get it. He will not be on my card. There's just other places I would rather go that check out better for me, but completely understand that everybody's going to ask about that, and he's going to end up as a bet for a lot of people.
By the way, your skin looks flawless, by the way. Have you noticed this, Matt?
Oh,
just
thanks,
absolutely.
buddy.
He's wearing makeup, for God's sakes.
Are you did you get a touch up before you? Did you get a touch up before you came on?
Just a podcast. You didn't have to put on makeup for this.
Should always. Yeah.
No. Patrick Reed.
Gil, I mean, Patrick Reed, it's kind of hard at this point to deny what you get out of him at this venue. I mean, there is, as we say, one of the most predictive that there is. And I think at this point, everybody knows my disdain for Patrick Reed. I think he has one of the most punchable faces in all of humankind. Like, I think and so I cannot stand the dude, like, just looking at him. But outside of that, I mean, he does so well at this place. And he's actually playing pretty good golf right now too.
I know.
If you believe what's going on in everywhere else, with Patrick Reed, I mean, like, he's actually playing pretty good golf too. So if somebody wanted to play him in what seems to be an advantageous matchup or some sort of 3-ball or some sort of something like that, even like Kelley said, a placement market deal, I'm certainly not going to talk you off of him, because not only does he seem to have this place kind of under wraps, but he's actually playing good golf right now too.
4 top 10s at the Masters since 2020. And then on the season this year, he has 2 wins on the DP World Tour, a T2 and another 10th place finish.
And the most punchable face on the entire thing.
Yep.
All right, you know where I'm going next then. Hideki, and again, file this under a category, I like how Kelley put it, person who hasn't followed golf nearly as closely as you guys have, but he won this tournament in 2021. And I just feel like, and I know there's injuries here, but I just feel like he's the great player no one ever mentions. What do you think about him here?
I think it's fair. I mean, here the problem with betting Hideki is you just have to understand what you're getting into when you bet Hideki, which is he can show up and win any tournament that he plays. Like, he is unlike most golfers where it's like you can think he's in the worst form you've ever seen ever. You're like, this guy can't do anything right, and then he just shows up and plays amazing. And it's like he can flip a switch unlike anybody that you've ever seen, right? I mean, in the other direction as well, right? So it's like, just this season, 2nd place at Phoenix, follows that with an 8th at the Pebble Beach, whatever, and then we're like gets to Arnold Palmer, T41, he loses off the tee, he loses tee to green, he loses like all the crazy places, then comes right back around and will be in a top 20 at Valero, it's just, you got to know what you're getting into with Hideki. But obviously success here and all of that, but you also might just be sitting there going, what are you doing? Why is this happening? Like, dude, come on, man. And it's like, he'll just linger in 25th place. That's kind of like something you just got to understand.
Yep. Yeah. He's another guy I think that you'll hear a lot about this week. And, I don't think I'll be betting him. I shouldn't say I won't be betting. I won't be betting him in the outright market. I don't think I'll be betting Hideki. I think the other thing that since he won, and it might not be fair because Matt's right. He's got a superpower with the approach game. And when we're talking about this is one of the most approach heavy golf courses on the face of the earth. And then if these guys are all playing at their very high ceilings, who has the best long iron games out there? It's probably Scotty Scheffler, and Hideki Matsuyama is not far behind in that conversation when he is absolutely playing at his best. So is he capable of rolling in here and doing what he did, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was? Yeah. But I think the other thing that's happened since then is everybody's getting longer off the tee, and Hideki continues to struggle this year with he's not long. He's not long off the tee. The accuracy's been a nightmare. Yes, that shouldn't be as big of a problem this week with such wide fairways, but you also can't have a hole or two at the Masters where you are putting yourself out of play off the tee or something like that. And that would concern me. Just he's going to be kind of playing catch up compared to a lot of these other guys that are long off the tee. Now, he's a wizard around the greens. He's great with those long irons play. That's where he could make up some ground, but I don't think he's somebody I'm going to be looking to bet a ton of this week.
Matt, I was with you last year. I didn't bet anything pre-flop, but I waited for Rory. But I didn't wait specifically, but Rory happened to fall behind in the first round last year. Bet him going into the second, and early in the second round was like the greatest golf tournament I've ever had. One guy, one bet was the easiest thing in the world. I asked this of Wes on a numbers game with Kelley this morning, which was about Rory getting the monkey off his back, winning the Masters finally, getting the long-awaited career slam, which that's all we talked about with him until he finally won it. Is there anybody who's out there going, well, he's got the monkey off his back now, he can just play freely, why shouldn't I bet Rory again? To that, you would say what?
I would say, sure. I mean, he's our top 5 golfer in the world. I don't think that. So this is where you obviously, and I understand kind of the mechanism of tennis at the highest level, which is like the 100th ranked person in the world you wouldn't even win a point off of on your best day and whatever. But the difference between the 100th ranked person and the top 5 in the world is like a chasm that can never be like whatever. Unlike in golf where yes, you can still be the best player in the world. It's just hard to win a golf tournament. Like you can have one bad game in tennis and still come back and you can destroy the person. Or like one bad swing can end a tournament in a golf tournament, right? Because you hit one bad swing, you hit it in the water, you hit it behind a tree, and next thing you know, you double bogey and hole. It's over. I mean, like you're not gonna be able to win a tournament. And so the whole how hard it is to repeat here, like I get that in theory, and I think it's like more of a deal of like, oh, it's a talking point as opposed to just one person wins a golf tournament. It's one swing can end a deal and whatever. And it's like, you can play awesome and still just get beat because unlike in these other sports, like it's me versus you. Like I can beat you. I can have an awesome round and shoot 5 under and somebody else shoots 7 under and there's nothing. It just is what it is, right? Like I can't prevent you from shooting 7 under, And so that to me is like, I don't know. I'm not going to say a lazy narrative or anything like that, but any of these dudes, if you tell me that we're talking on Monday, a week from now, and Rory wins the tournament, I'm like, well, yeah, it's freaking Rory McIlroy. Of course he won the tournament. He's awesome golfer, So I would not talk anybody off playing Rory. He fits the course perfectly. All the reasons we talked about last year. Same type of stuff here. If you want to be a little bit worried about some injury stuff going on with all of that, but I imagine gets the very best of the very best treatment and the very best of the very best stuff to make sure that he's going to be able to perform optimally.
Again, only Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, and Tiger have won back-to-back. Rory trying to be the 4th. Let me ask it this way. And we won't prolong this because I know you guys got a week of Masters golf, so I'm being sensitive to that. But a few more questions before we go.
Sure.
One, if we do have the first debutant, and by the way, what other time in life do we ever use that word debutante?
Never.
Except for
Never.
the Masters. Never. If we do have the first timer win this tournament for the first time since Fuzzy Zeller did in 1979. So that's, what is that, 47 years ago. Is it your opinion that this would be the year with Goddard, with Penge, with guys like that? Is this the year that it happens?
I'll give you the name that I would think it would be, actually, and it's not either one of those. I think it'd be Jacob Bridgman. I mean, like, this is a dude who has already won on a big boy golf course over at Riviera. Like, that's a big boy golf course, and he did it in a big boy field, and he's long enough, and his irons are good enough, and he putts well enough, and all of that. Like, I think Bridgman could be super interesting. You know, whatever. If he is inside the top 10 come Sunday, Kelley, I would not be shocked. Like, I've seen enough from him to understand that, like, you hear his like interviews and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's just, he doesn't care. He's unbothered by anything. Like, it's just like, I don't think Augusta is going to be too big for him.
Yeah, I hear you. He's a guy I've constantly underrated, and if he does something again this year or this week at the Masters, I will not be on him. I will be on Goddard in that market for sure. I love Goddard. I love me some Goddard. Dude's won 3 times last 15 times he's teed it up. It's really good. It's really good when he's got stuff going. So I will probably be playing him in the debutante market, but still waiting to see kind of odds for that. I think I heard like 4.5 to 1. He's the favorite on when those were getting posted.
Plus 450 on Goddard, 6 to 1 on Bridgman.
Yeah, that would. I think Goddard will be a bet for me.
Yeah.
I think those other names are live. I would not be shocked at all if Bridgman took it down. And then Penge has been playing good golf for the past couple weeks, and he's got the game off the tee that I think he could capture that. I just wanted to chime in real quick on Rory. I will tell you the one. I'll probably got one more outright that I'm going to play. Kind of hinted at that. Waiting to see how the top of this board develops. Rory and Xander Schauffele, I would say, are the guys that I kind of have circled to see. I kind of have a feeling they're going to drift. They're going to be able to get better outright numbers on them. There's not going to be a ton of love on these guys compared to the others at the top. I will be willing to, like, I saw 13 to 1 this morning on Rory McIlroy. I think that is we're getting to absurd pricing on a very, very good golfer, one of the best in the world. A guy who we know can win this event. So I think if that's 15, 16 to 1, I'm in on Rory.
Not to belabor the debutante question, but what I was getting at there, by the way, we determined earlier, Kelley Knapp is not a debutante. He's played here before, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Is this like in college basketball, how we're talking about tanking teams, right? Because it's this epic class of DeBanza and Peterson and who am I forgetting already?
Boozer
and
the kid from UNC.
Yeah. So is this a better rookie class than most? In other words,
it's a good one. I don't know if it's one of the better ones we've seen here recently.
Okay.
Honestly, Matt brings this up all the time. It feels like every year we've got a wave of 1 or 2 guys that are kind of fresh on the scene, and it's like, man, this guy's damn good. I think it's one of the. It's a good one for sure. I don't know if it's the best we've seen.
I mean, the 3 that we've mentioned, Gill. I mean, I guess the thing is just. They're all proven winners, right? I mean, they've all won multiple times. I mean, they like I said, Bridgman has won on a big boy course and a big boy tournament. Penge has won multiple times. Goddard's won multiple times. I mean, like, these are all dudes that it's not like, oh, we're waiting for them to break through. It's like, no, they've done it. Like, they've been there and done that.
All right, here's my famous question on golf. Who's the person that wins this that pisses you off the most? That you will not have any exposure to, but you've thought about betting him and you just didn't get around to doing it for whatever reason. You decided, I can only bet so many players. I'm not going to bet this guy. Who's that guy?
I mean, mine already know for sure. I mean, it's going to be Morikawa. I'm not going to bet him because of this whole injury thing and withdrawing and all of the stuff. And he's a little dude to begin with and all that stuff. But I mean, if you look at what you like, I mean, he's over 300 yards. His iron game is maybe arguably the best in the world, if not top 5 in the world. Streaky putter, but fine, whatever. Like, I mean, that's golf. It is what it is. Like, And you're looking at 30, like all the way up to like, I think I saw 33, 30, something like that on him. Yeah, you can get a 33-1 right now on Colin Morikawa to win the Masters, one of the very best golfers in the world. But I mean, I just can't, dude, you withdrew in your tune-up, and like, I don't know. It's going to be tough for me. So it'll be Morikawa for sure, because he's a guy that, again, checks all the boxes. I just don't know how he's feeling, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of those, he would definitely be on my list too, Gill. And look, I think if you're that guy who's just, you never bet golf, you just watch golf for the majors, you want to have 6-7 outrights and have some fun this week, I don't think Morikawa is a bad play. Maybe he shows up and he's perfectly fine, and he has been one of the best approach players, not the best on tour this entire season. He's been great when he's been on, and you're going to get a long number on him. So I wouldn't rush to bet it now. I think kind of what Matt's talking about, there's going to be a lot of people that just stay away from him, including myself. And I think you're going to see mid-30s, maybe even longer than that by the time we get close to the tournament. So I wouldn't hate that. Just to go to the top of the board, I think Rahm's going to get out of play, and almost no matter where Scheffler drifts to, I probably won't play him. But God, we're all going to feel like, if Scotty Scheffler wins and it's a 7-1 out there, right, we're all going to feel like idiots, right? I mean, it's like it's Scotty Scheffler at 7-1, and I passed it up. What was I thinking?
Circling back around to Morikawa, though, I am playing him in one and done. So everybody out there, like, don't play him in one and done. I need to be on an island. I've had 4 withdrawals in my one and done season so far. Like, I have to be on dudes that nobody else is on. So like, I'm playing Morikawa in one and done. So y'all go run away. Do not play him. He's going to withdraw. Trust me.
I like this strategy, Matt, because this is like the lightning can't strike the same place twice, right? Like, Matt keeps having golfers get injured on him, so now he's going to go back the injured golfer already.
Yes,
and that's how he's going to get away with it. There we go.
Yeah, like,
what is that brings up the betting pie question? Since you bring that up, what is your as best as you can estimate outrights, head-to-heads, placement markets, or whatever prop derivative market in the Masters, versus also one and dones, auctions, Calcuttas, whatever the hell. How does that break down for you, Kelley? Do you do any of that other stuff?
Yeah. I would have to figure out what the pie. Let's say some of the contests and stuff like that are 10%. Say that, and then it's probably 15% outrights. Everything else is kind of placements, matchups, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to drive to the border because this is like one of the, tournaments that I'll do that for or whatever. I mean, I'll have a lot of exposure in DFS. I mean, there'll be a lot of money in play for DFS. The tournaments are just so big and so juicy. So have a lot of that. We'll be in that tiers contest at Splash. And then, so, I mean, just in those, just contests alone will probably be 25% of what I'm doing, 25, 30%. And then outrights are always 10 or 15%. And then the rest will fall somewhere in between.
So you're driving across the border to enter the Splash Sports, I would assume, then, because we can't do that.
Yeah, going to enter that one, and then just enter a whole bunch of DFS contests like out there. I mean, lightning in a bottle to become a millionaire, baby. I mean, it's
when you get to the Hoover Dam and they ask you, "Are you here to see one of America's most amazing engineering marvels?" Do you respond to them by saying, "No, I'm here to bet one of America's most remarkable golf tournaments"? You say that?
No, Gil. I drive to that little hut that is literally 1 foot over the border where they sell lottery tickets right there and whatever. Yeah, like I just drive to that little hut and park in the parking lot at the hut, and then enter all the stuff or whatever, and then just take off and head back this way.
What I do is I actually cross the Hoover Dam to that little semicircle cove in the cliff there. Yeah. You can just park. Yeah. Kelley's food truck coming to there soon, I think.
Yeah, man, I got to go check up on it. We haven't really paid it much attention in the past couple of years. So.
I pop in because I'm there, so I'm like, I might as well get some Powerball tickets too. So it's just like I might as well. Know. I'm there.
You never know. It could happen.
Whatever.
If you won the Powerball, would you still bet the Masters next year?
If I won the Powerball,
bigger.
If I won the Powerball, then I wouldn't need the rich friend to get me into the cool place to whatever, because I would be the rich friend that's in the cool place. So I would be y'all's rich friend that was in the cool place to watch the Masters.
In case you missed it
You're
earlier,
welcome, come
Matt
with
has
me.
been to the Masters. Matt
Yeah.
has been to the Masters. He wants everybody to know. Last thing before we go here. First round leader. I know you guys delve into that in most tournaments. Do you bet that here at all? And if so, who?
Oh, great question. I do not bet it as often here, and definitely no thoughts
Why
this
is
early.
that,
We
by
don't
the
even
way? Is
we don't have the
why
tee
did I
times.
know to ask it that way? Why is that we don't bet first round leader here as much?
I think more, man. Look, usually when I go in heavy on it, Gil, I think that I'm seeing some type of advantage in the tee times, whether early, late. You have less tee times overall here. It's a major, less people in the field. Everything's more bunched together. So if it looks like you're going to have an advantage early because weather's coming in late, you're not really going to get that type of an advantage here. And then also, I think just because of how tough this course is, it's kind of like when we talk about betting first quarter of a basketball or football game or something, I'm kind of handicapping the whole thing. I'm not really handicapping just one quarter here. Want to give myself more time to let the handicap play out. I guess that's how I would describe it. Am I going to possibly end up? I'm probably going to end up on 2 or 3. I mean, come on, it's the Masters. Like I'm still going to have some fun, but I do think it's a little tougher to do here and tougher to feel confident in here, I would say.
I kind of did have my eye on one dude, and honestly, his game has changed too. He has proven that he can win, so this is kind of not the same handicap as before. But man, Cam Young is just like a perfect first round leader type of dude.
Yeah.
He can go nuclear once a tournament, and he's figured out how to win now. So it's a little bit different of a golfer than he was even a year ago with that. But I mean, if you like a dude who just if he's driving it well and all that, I mean, a guy that can just go so low in a single round. And so he kind of fits the perfect for me type of guy that I like to play in these like first round leader type markets, because if you looked up and Cam Young went 6 under on day one, like you're not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe that. It's like, no, the guy nukes the ball off the tee. And when he's running hot, he's, as good as anybody in the world. So he's kind of a guy I have my eye on.
And Hall of Fame first round leader candidate Tommy Fleetwood is not a thing here.
Oh boy. I guess when you ask the question about who it'll piss me off, like, so that my preliminary models, yeah, I mean, like my preliminary models, he is nowhere outside of
the one I'm staring at right now. He ranks higher than Scotty Scheffler, 1 spot higher than Scotty Scheffler. So, yeah. But I'm going to pass up on him too, just kind of like Matt's talking about.
You can't bet
everybody. We've seen Tommy in better form before, in my opinion. He's not long off the tee. That's going to hold him back here a bit. It's that, and you can't bet everybody. Yep.
All right. Last question I like, because you alluded to this, Kelley. I think it was you, and I think this is the most, for me anyway, it's the more real life Masters betting question, which is, all right, the Masters starts Thursday morning, leaderboard happens. You're like, this fucking guy's on top or whatever, right? Scotty Scheffler falls behind. It's usually through the lens of Scotty Scheffler that we talk about this. Maybe it's someone else in your mind, but let's just talk about it with Scheffler. Yeah. What is the number you're going to need on him if he's, I don't know, 6 strokes back after the first round? What's the number you're going to need him? Or maybe that's not the guy you're thinking of. Maybe there's somebody else who you feel like is more of a rocket ship kind of player that could actually make up that ground more efficiently than him.
I don't know why I immediately want to say just 10 to 1. Like I want to say double digits when when you set it up that way, but it's just all going to completely depend, right? Who's that guy in front of him? What's the course plan like? What's the rest of the field looking like? But honestly, Gil, I think that I've got one kind of open outright slot right now. It might be a tournament or a bet I make before the tournament. It might be one that I'm saving for a live spot. And look, I think there's Scotty Scheffler we could play the normal Scheffler game with, or some of these guys, and I think specifically Morikawa and Rory, if you're wondering and a little worried about what they might be looking like coming off injury, okay, wait till live. There's no reason why you can't wait till they start playing. Feel, okay, hey, he looks like he's hitting the ball pretty well, moving pretty comfortably out there. Maybe I want to get in on him after round 1 or towards the end of round 1 or something like that when somebody else has gotten out to a rocket lead. I think that's a way you could attack this tournament, probably a pretty intelligent one.
Yeah, I would. I have my eye on Scotty and Rahm. It's just the numbers right now are just too short for me, but there is a buy point for both of those guys for sure. It's depending on what that is. If the guys with firepower to go out and actually come back from being down, it's Scotty, it's Rom, and it's maybe like a couple of other dudes, and that's about it. And so it would definitely be them. And like, I also will have kind of like a live top 5, live top 10 eye on Xander if he kind of starts out a little bit slow. He is just a major machine. Like he goes out and it might not be spectacular, but he will just go 3 under, 3 under, 3 under, 3. You know what? It's just like he might not win this thing, and I don't know what his win equity is. I certainly think the number is too short on him right now. But like, dude, a top 5, top 10 on Xander, like he's very rarely disappointed at these big tournaments. Like he is such a good grinder, and I think that those are some decent opportunities to look at as well.
Are we at the point where most books are offering in tournament top 5s and top 10s?
Yeah. The big national ones for sure.
Big national ones.
Yeah.
As opposed to Pillars of Offshore, which no longer offers shit like that, which is disappointing. And Kelley's Dream, is it widespread? Because we do first round leader, and we do with each round we have, best round of that particular round. But do we have any markets of like, what's the one that you always want, Kelley? That isn't around?
Well, there's 2, but the one I usually always bring up is any round leader. Any round leader. Just to be the leader after any round, whether that's the first, the last, or in between.
Pre-flop. Any round leader. We don't have that, do we? Doesn't exist.
And then the other one, you can usually bet over under on what the lowest score is, right? But like I don't like who to score the lowest round. Like that's a fun one too. I think I've seen that one once or twice.
All right, final question. Are either of you betting any of these in prediction markets? And if so or if not, do they offer much more than regulated books do?
I won't. I probably won't. I mean, it's just, for me, I kind of like, once I'm in anyway. And like, I've kind of figured out a way to do live hedging and stuff with golf as it is anyway, which people heard me say a million different times, but like, DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM all offer cash out. So like, if you want to, if you're going to bet $50 on a golfer, if you're going to bet $25 on a golfer, if you bet $100 on a golfer, like split it into 5 bets. Like, and then just bet $20 5 times, just bet $10 5 times, bet $5 5 times. And then you'll get a cash out offer. And then you don't cash out any of them, or cash out one of them and let 4 ride, cash out 2 and let 3 ride, whatever. Like however you want, you can create your own hedge. Essentially, if you want to do that, understanding that, again, only one golfer wins a golf tournament. So, I think that has been a way that has worked out. It worked out for me 2 weeks ago I had the first and the second guy. I had Woodland and Højgaard, going into Sunday's round. And nice. I was able to bank a profit for the tournament on both of those guys, just using one tiny little piece of the cash out, and then let it ride on Woodland and whatever. So yeah, I think it's a good way that you can go about it if you're in, again, DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM. I know do it. I'm sure I haven't bet enough on Fanatics or whatever the score or whatever to know whether they do it or not, but I'm sure they do too.
Yeah, I think that's the simplest, smartest betting advice Matt Brown has given out over the past couple of years. I love that. I mean it as a compliment. It's so simple, and it's for how many shows we do, right? And how many questions do we get about hedging? Any of these books that he's talking about with a cash out option. If you're betting $50, split it up into $5 or 5 bets at $10 a piece. The whole payout's going to be the same, but guess what? You get that cash out option, and you could cash out 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, as many as you want.
Or none of them.
Or none of it. And just let it ride.
Yeah, whatever. or just let it ride. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just an option. It just gives you options, is all I'm saying. I understand people are going to get in the comment, they don't give you a fair price on the cash out. Okay. We didn't used to get offered cash out. Like, I mean, this is Gill, you and I have been simpatico in this since day one. Yeah. Where they're like, these in-game parlays don't pay out. Whatever. You used to get banned if you tried to do a correlated play from a book. Like, they would be like, kick you off of the book if you were trying to do correlated plays and stuff. So it's like, yes, there's a give and take here. I understand whatever. I know it's not dollar for dollar and yada, yada, yada. But this also used to not be offered. You used to couldn't do any of this stuff.
I have always been a fan of the getting in front of, I know what I'm about to say is going to have the too cool for school just attack me and the hate's going to wash over me. But, maybe if you looked at it this way, there's some reason to it as well. Like maybe it's not 100% bad. There's a different way to look at it. I always appreciate that from you. Matt Brown, Kelley Bydlon, they are 2/3 of the Long Shots crew. Wes Reynolds is the third. The only reason that I didn't have Wes on is because then if we had Wes on, it's like, what's the point of even doing it? You got to tune in for them. You guys are recording it 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon tomorrow, the much anticipated Masters, 90th Masters Long Shots episode. Give them a few hours to get it uploaded or however quickly they can turn it around. And then probably YouTube-ish stuff, and you'll have clips on Twitter, whatever. We think. We're going to go with that.
I think.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
You
will.
know what?
Yep.
No, yeah, well, whatever. Yeah,
I can promise it. It definitely will be.
You
2
can
thumbs up from Wyatt Tomchek. He will be on it tomorrow.
Okay. Wow. That's why it's like, Jesus. Thank you, Wyatt. Appreciate you doing this. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kelley. Matt again at Matt Brown M2. Kelley at Kelley Bydlon, KELLEY BYDLON. Good luck with all the Masters bets. We've got 72 hours between now and then for you to stew over your bets and figure out what to bet. But hope this gave you some insight or nudged you in a certain direction. And check out Long Shots tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Good luck.